Welcome back in one of the Bears Travel Plays YouTube channel. Today is Saturday, February 1st, and I am back for some college basketball breakdown. We have so many plays today, 11 plays in total. I'm going to go quick before we break them down. Games on Friday that we had 2-2 day. Really felt like it should have been 3-1. SLU making that comeback in the second half. 12-0 run from the 10-minute mark to the 6-minute mark. Usually you get some home cooking with the referees, not in this game. Every single call went against St. Louis, in my opinion. That's someone who had a ticket and some money on them, so obviously that opinion may be skewed. But felt like every single call was going against St. Louis at home, which typically we do not see. Dayton in the first half, give them a lot of credit. I think they made 10 consecutive shots on the field, put them up by 15 points, I believe, in the first half. St. Louis never gave up. Crowd got back in it. I really thought when they cut it to 2 points, we were going to win the game outright, but they just did not close. So Dayton gets the win there. I think it was by 5 points. We did get the player prop win with Jimerson over 16.5 points. I think he had 21 in the game. 9 at half, 16 or 18 with 4 minutes left. I think he had another bucket after that as well. So we get a win on the player prop. Losers, Malik. Indiana, let's start with the win. Indiana, plus 12.5. As easy as it gets. I thought I was going to be able to call it. Indiana money line going on the road against Purdue. I almost had the correct score as well. It would have been cool. 80-79 final score, Indiana to win. It was a good game. It was a really good game, and it felt like Indiana should have won that game. All you have to do for Purdue is stop two people, and they just couldn't do it. So Indiana lose the game outright. They had a lead. I think they're up 4 points with like 2 minutes left. They should have won that game. Purdue at home finds a way to win it. Good teams find a way to win, right? I keep saying Purdue's a bad team, but apparently they're a top 10 team. I don't see it. I still don't see it. I still don't see it after watching this entire game. I don't understand how they're in the top 10. But they keep winning games, so I guess they're a good team. The loser was Malik, had 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes of the game, sat him the entire first half, then he picked up 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes of the second half, sat him the rest of the game, and they should have done that because Mbako for Indiana was absolutely amazing in this game, and Malik was just out there fouling people. I think he played eight total minutes in the game, only scored 2 points. So 2-2 day on the plays from Friday. Let's go extremely quick now. We have 11 games to break down. Going to try to do it fast. Tennessee going up against Florida. Florida's a very good team. Tennessee's a very good team. Also hope everybody likes SEC basketball because most of these games are on the SEC. Tennessee has now lost back-to-back games going up against Auburn and Kentucky. Not really their fault. The SEC is loaded with a bunch of these teams. Florida coming off of back-to-back wins. Last win against Georgia. Florida's lost to Kentucky and Missouri this season. Kentucky and Missouri this season. Tennessee has lost to Auburn, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Florida. They lost to Florida by 30 points on the road against Florida this season already. The spread currently is 3.5 for Tennessee. I am seeing a lot of momentum for Tennessee minus 3.5. So if this one gets to 4.5, which it's already trending that way, it's at 4 right now actually. If it gets to 5.5, I'm switching. No, I'm not. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to switch. Tennessee is going to be the play, minus 5.5. If it goes over 5.5, I will be forced to take Florida. Florida's a very good team. They're big down low. The only reason I like Tennessee in this game is because they lost by 30 already on the road, and they've lost back-to-back games. They've got to find a way to win this game. Man, if it gets to 6, I'm taking Florida, though. I will say that. If it gets to 6, I'm on Florida. If it stays at 5.5, I'm going with Tennessee. This is going to be a good game. It's going to be home court advantage for Tennessee. Back-to-back losses. You got to take the Volunteers in this one if we can get a decent line. But again, if it goes over 6, I will switch to Florida. These teams are not very different. I've seen Florida in shootouts. I've seen Florida in close games. They're a very good team. If you give them 6 points, I will take Florida. But for right now, Tennessee is going to be the play against the spread. Next play, Auburn going up against Ole Miss. I'm taking Ole Miss with the points. I think they're plus 6.5 as of right now. I'm seeing it even going up to plus 7.5 as I'm speaking here. But this is an Ole Miss team who's been good this season. Got a really good win against Texas in their last game, 72-69 at home. They've been able to protect home court for the most part. They had that game against Texas A&M where we had Texas A&M plus 2.5. They made that three-pointer on the right wing to just crush Ole Miss spirits. I think A&M went on a 10-2 run to end that game. This is a good Ole Miss team. I think they're going to be competitive in this one. Auburn clearly is the best team in the country right now. They are so good on both sides of the ball. I just think this is a game Ole Miss has to try to find a way to win. I think this will be competitive all the way down. I think it's going to be a possession game. So give me Ole Miss with the points in this one as the second play. Third play, throw the record books out, throw the spread out, throw everything out because we have rivalry matchups here. North Carolina going up against Duke. North Carolina coming off a loss against Pittsburgh, lost that game by 8 points. North Carolina's got some good players, though. They've got great guard play. R.J. Davis and Seth Trimble will lead them to a cover in this game going up against Duke. I don't think they're going to win the game, although Duke has been tested back-to-back games going up against Wake. Should have lost that game. I can make a very big argument for Wake to win that one at home. Should have won that one. NC State also gave Duke a really big test, even though they did in the game winning by 10 points in that one. But this is going to be a close game. 13.5, that's crazy. That's crazy talk if you're going to take Duke. Duke is obviously the better team, but these are rivalry matchups. There's no way I'm going to be laying 13.5 with Duke. So give me North Carolina in this game with the points as the play there. Fourth play, we're going to go Arkansas going up against Kentucky. Cal going back home. He's with Arkansas. He's getting 11.5 points in this game. DJ Wagner, Kentucky to Arkansas, also going back in this game against Kentucky. There's going to be a lot of hatred, and there's going to be a lot of love to start the game, but mostly it's probably going to be hatred. I think Arkansas will play for their new head coach. They're coming off of a loss going up against Oklahoma, but they got a pretty big win going up against Georgia at home. They won that game by 3 points. They were down by 14 in the first half of that one. I think they bounced back in this one, put up a decent effort, plus 11.5. That's way too many points. This will once again be a competitive game because Kentucky does not play any defense whatsoever. I'll take Arkansas to cover the spread here as the fourth play for the fifth play. Georgia against Alabama, not football, basketball. Give me the over. Over 158.5 points. Georgia has been a good team for the most part this season, but the problem with these SEC teams is that they just keep running into each other, and they're all in the top 25. So everybody's got a really tough schedule. Georgia's a really good team. They can score a lot of points. Alabama is just so much better than everybody in the country right now, scoring 90.2 points per game, even with a couple players banged up. Youngblood's been great. Holloway's been great. Sears has been okay. This team is full of guys who can make threes and full of guys who can just run the floor. This is going to be a high-paced game. I think Georgia will probably cover the number in this game, but best play here is the over. So give me the over 158.5 as the final game pick. Let's go some player props. Going to go rapid fire. Once again, we have DJ Wagner to start. Arkansas in the game going up against, I believe, Georgia. His player prop was 11.5, and I think we did take it. So I'm going to guess 11.5, 12.5 in this game going up against Kentucky. Boogie Flan no longer there, but DJ Wagner has picked up the scoring for this Arkansas team ever since he did go down. I guess it was against Oklahoma that we took it. Scored 13 points in that game against Oklahoma, 5 of 12 shooting. That means he shot 12-plus times in back-to-back games now for Arkansas ever since Boogie went down. So that is not a coincidence. That is a trend. He is going to continue to shoot multiple times in this game. Double-digit shot attempts for him, plus he's going up against his former team in Kentucky. He's going to have himself a day. Over 12.5 points is my guess as the first play. Second play, told you the guard play for North Carolina will win them this game. I think Duke is going to double-team R.J. Davis. We have seen that for the majority of the season. That means Seth Trimble will be open. He's going to get himself to the rim, get himself to the line, and make at least 15-plus points in this game. Guess is 12.5, 13.5 as the play because he's only averaging 12.3 on this season. But he's coming off a decent game against Pittsburgh, 10 points. He has scored double-digit points in back-to-back games. This is also a really big game. He typically comes out of his shell in these big games. He usually shoots a lot more. So I like him in this game. Over 12.5, over 13.5 points as the second play here going up against the rival. Third play, Chaz Lanier of Tennessee. Also, these are in order of most confident to least confident. So I wouldn't say least confident. I'd say best play to less of a best play. I don't know. But I do think the first two plays are my favorite plays. These are also plays I like, but I'm just a little bit less confident in them. Chaz Lanier over his total points. If this game goes into a shootout, which we have seen Florida have shootouts, we have seen Tennessee have shootouts, Chaz Lanier's the guy. Also, he is so much better at home than he is on the road. There's a 5 points per game differential between home and away. Coming off a pretty bad game going up against Kentucky, only 15 points, shot 14 times. He has attempted double-digit shot attempts in every game this season but one. So he's going to chuck the ball in this game. He's a decent three-point shooter. Had 10 threes in the last game. He usually shoots between 6 and 8 threes per game. So I like him in this game going up against Florida at home. Over 15.5, 16.5 as the play here. I will play this up to 18.5 because he's scoring 17.8 on the season. So I'm going to play this up to 18.5. I do not expect it to be 18.5. 16.5, 17.5 will be the play here. For the final player prop of the day, 4 total player props for the Saturday slate. Jalen Moore of Oklahoma going up against Vanderbilt. There is nobody on this Vanderbilt team who's going to be able to stop the high flyer. 6'7", 215 pounds. He's a forward. He's a senior. He started with Georgia Tech. He's been at Oklahoma 2 years now. 11.7 points per game last year, a huge bump up in production this year. 18.2 points per game. Probably going to get this at 17.5 going up against Vanderbilt, coming off a really good game against Texas A&M. He only shot 8 times. 8 times in that game against A&M, scored 22 points, got himself to the free throw line 10 times. He has been to the free throw line 10 plus times in 2 of the last 3 games. So I love it when a player prop can get me his points at the line. Those are free points. Stop the clock, stop the game, make your free throws. I like him in this game going up against Vanderbilt. Over his total points, 17.5, 16.5, somewhere around there as the final player prop of the day. Let's break down all of these games that we have. We are going to start with Tennessee minus 3.5 again. If they get to Florida and it's +6, I'm switching to Florida. If it's 5.5, I'll stay with Tennessee. But at some point, you got to realize that these teams are very similar. Florida, if you're giving them 6 points, I'm going to take them. They're too good of a team. Ole Miss at home +6.5. Think they keep it close. North Carolina throw out the record book +13.5 going up against Duke. Arkansas +11.5 going up against Kentucky. Cal's return, I think he keeps it close. Marquette, I got other matchups here. UConn going up against Marquette. Marquette -6.5. UConn's been bad. That's the fact. I don't care how many times Hurley says he's the best coach in the nation. His players are not playing very well right now. Marquette's been wheeling and dealing. Top 20 defense, top 20 offense this season. Marquette rolls at home -6.5 there. The over 158.5 between Georgia and Alabama. We're going to go with Texas Tech on the road +9.5 going up against Houston. Good scoring team, good defensive team. This team has a lot of guys with a high motor. It reminds me a lot of Iowa State in a way. Houston's just so much better. So I don't think Texas Tech wins this game. Houston at home probably wins it, but 10 points is too much in my opinion. Texas Tech's a very good team this season in the Big 12. They can find a way to keep this a 1-possession, 2-possession game in the final 4 minutes and find a way to cover the spread. +9.5 there. DJ Wagner over 12.5 points is my guess going up against Kentucky. Seth Trimble over 13.5, maybe 12.5 points going up against Duke. Chaz Lanier 17.5, 16.5 going up against Florida is my guess. And then Jalen Moore over 17.5, 16.5 points going up against Vanderbilt as the final play of the day. Hope everybody enjoys their Saturday. Hope everybody watch all these college basketball games. If you guys enjoy the content here, make sure you guys drop a like in the video, subscribe to the channel below. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Thanks for watching.